Hello, and welcome to today's history lesson. Today, we are going to be talking about the first colonies in the New World. A man named William Bradford, who resided in England, was a Puritan. As the name implies, a Puritan is someone who wanted to cleanse, or in other words, purify the Protestant Church of all things Catholic. Some of the things William wanted to get rid of included incense, candles, priests, altars, and much more. William and his friends had lost hope. They didn't think the church would ever be purified. Since they thought they could do nothing about the Protestant church, they separated and began holding their own services. Thus they got the name the Separatists. King James was not too thrilled about this, so he banned them from meeting in churches and demanded that they pay higher taxes. Believe it or not, William held most of his services in stables and barns. William had to be very cautious, because the king's guards would attempt to arrest him with any chance they got. That is when William and all the other separatists thought that they should leave England and go somewhere else, where they were allowed to worship God in the way they saw best. They decided that they would go to Holland. It seemed like the perfect solution, since Protestants were allowed to worship, and it was not too far from England's borders. All the separatists packed their bags and set sail for Holland on a small wooden ship. They decided to settle in a town called Leiden. They finally could meet in churches and pay regular taxes. Not too long after settling down, William married another separatist named Dorothy. Together, they soon had a son named John. Unfortunately, in small Leiden, many of the separatist children forgot much of their English heritage, as well as their separatist beliefs. They spoke Dutch, wore wooden clogs, and did all the things Dutch people do. William and his friends wanted to go to a place where they could teach their kids to become good English separatists. The only problem was, they didn't know where to go. They did not want to go back to England. So what were their other options? They finally thought about North America and decided it would be perfect. Even though the journey to North America was long and treacherous, 50 separatists still decided to go. Some of the separatist leaders went back to England to ask merchants to help support them by giving them money for a boat and supplies. In exchange, they would give the merchants treasures they might find in North America. The merchants agreed, but said that they would have to bring 60 settlers along with them. As soon as all of that was settled, the separatists and settlers met on their ship called the Mayflower. The group of travelers were called the Pilgrims. They set sail in 1620. William and his wife left little John behind to keep him safe. Many days passed before the Pilgrims spotted land up ahead. They finally were at a place they could call home. Before they got off the ship, the Pilgrims came up with some laws for the colony. They wanted everyone to follow these rules. After everything was signed and complete, the Pilgrims elected a man named John Carver to govern them. While the women and children stayed on the boat, the men set out to explore their new home. They searched for the perfect spot for their new colony and finally found one. It was an old Indian village with a stream and the remains of a few huts. The men excitedly returned to the ship with their happy news. William was devastated to learn that his wife had fallen overboard and drowned. He had no time to grieve because winter was coming and he had to work hard to build log cabins for all of the Pilgrims. The neighboring Indian tribe was kind toward the Pilgrims, and one of the warriors, named Squanto, spoke English, and so he helped his tribe and the settlers form a treaty. Squanto helped the Pilgrims and taught them how to grow crops and do many other things. While they were able to avoid starvation, the Plymouth plantation was still a dangerous place to live. Sadly, their governor, John Carver, died, so the Pilgrims elected William to become their new governor. He was a great leader and worked hard to make things better. After he was governor for about a year, the colony was prospering. In the late fall, all the Pilgrims and several Indians gathered for their first Thanksgiving feast ever. This holiday is one that we celebrate every year to remember and be thankful for all that God has done for us. It is a day where we eat delicious food and spend time with family. That is the story of the first colonies in the New World. See you next time.